Shabbos Kestenbaum has just exploded onto the world stage. Who doesn't know Shabbos? Who doesn't know Shabbos? I just want to say he's famous for suing Harvard, and he is here now with an update exclusively for you, hot off the press, letting us know what is to come, what is happening, where we're at. So Shabbos, do I see you? Do I hear you? Oh, there you are. Shabbos!
Hello. Good to see you both.
I'm so excited, you can tell. Can you please give us an update on the lawsuit?
Sure. So we filed a lawsuit in January alleging gross violations of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Harvard has reneged on their school code of conduct. They've reneged on the school policy and handbook. And most importantly, as I said, they violated federal law. So Harvard decided to file a motion to dismiss with prejudice. They did not acknowledge the reality. They did not apologize for the environment of anti-Semitism. They did not come to the negotiating table. They asked a judge to toss out our lawsuit and to make it so that no other Jewish student in the future would be able to hold their university accountable for anti-Semitism. When we had an amended complaint, which is basically an update to our lawsuit in June to reflect the increasing acts of anti-Semitism, like the encampments, Harvard did the exact same thing. They filed a second motion to dismiss with prejudice, again, never apologizing, never recognizing the reality on the ground. And I'm very, very honored to say that our judge, Judge Richard Stearns of the Federal District Court of Massachusetts, issued a 25-page scathing ruling against Harvard saying, and I quote, "The facts as pledged show that Harvard failed its Jewish students." So he tossed out Harvard's double motion to dismiss. And I'm very, very proud to say that we are the first case in American history pertaining to civil rights violations of Jewish students on a college campus that's actually going to trial. And as I always say, this is not about me. It's not about Harvard, but this is about the vitality, the strength, and the security of American Jewry. If you care about the preservation of the golden age of American Jewry, if you care about the future of young American Jews, this is our lawsuit. This is our victory. And I'm confident that we will see this through in trial. But just the fact that we made it to this stage is pretty historic. And it's a testament not only to, unfortunately, the horrific anti-Semitism that students have experienced, but on the optimistic side, it's a testament to the bravery, the resilience, and the dedication of young American Jews who've woken up post-October 7th and said, count me in. I want to be part of this story. I want to be part of this people.
Unbelievable. Shabbos, first of all, anyone who has just joined us, didn't see before, we're actually, Aish is working on a documentary called Frontline Warriors, which is going to be following three amazing, literally frontline warriors who have been on campuses, and Shabbos is one of them. We showed the promo before. It's going to be coming out in March. We're super excited that Shabbos is a big part of that. Shabbos, like Jamie said, you really burst on the scene in this last year because of what's going on in Harvard, but we knew you when. and Shabbos was a student at Aish in Jerusalem for 2.5 years. Could you talk a little bit about your connection to Aish and what Aish means to you?
Yeah, Aish is my real claim to fame. And for those of you who don't know, I actually spoke at the Aish Ha'am New York chapter on Monday, and I still have my Jewish Wisdom Society bag. So I always say that I don't support Aish because I'm a Jewish activist, because I believe in the future of American Jewry. I'm a Jewish activist, and I believe in the future of American Jewry because of Aish. Aish is the one, and Aish was the organization that gave me not only the tools to actually implement the change I wish to see, but it also gave me the inspiration. It gave me the education. It gave me the passion to do it. So the founder of Aish HaTorah, the yeshiva in the old city of Jerusalem, is someone I never even met. When he passed away, I was 10 years old, but he has left a pretty permanent mark on my life. And a quote that I have, you can't see it, but it's hanging up in my room, is that if you know Aleph, teach Aleph. Aleph, of course, is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And if you know Bet, which is the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet, teach Bet. Everyone has what to give. Everyone has what to contribute. And what really motivated me after Aish, let me rephrase that. After Aish, I actually went into Jewish education. I started teaching at the age of 19. I did not have a college degree, but I was kind of just on fire, and I wanted to impart what I had learned at Aish and just impart it to anyone I could find. And I'm really, really happy that Aish Ha'am is now running by itself for a slate. I actually remember I was in the airport and I was watching the presidential debate between Biden and Trump. And for reasons that should be relatively obvious, it suddenly occurred to me, wow, we need some better leaders. So I actually called Steve Berg, who's the CEO of Aish HaTorah, and I said, I know that there's this World Zionist Congress election coming up. I really think Aish should run. And he said, oh, it's funny you should say that because we actually are running, and do you want to be part of the slate? So here we are, and I'm very, very privileged and fortunate to be part of an incredible group of people. I was listening to Lizzie, Tanya, and Ari. I was listening to Eden and Eli and Bella, and these are just remarkable people. These are not tomorrow's leaders. These are today's leaders, and we're very fortunate to have them.
We are so fortunate, and we're so fortunate to have you, Shabbos. And like we said, you've been on the front lines at Harvard. We actually have a quick clip to show of Shabbos in action at Harvard University.
You cannot tell a Jew where he can or can't walk in the United States. So move. No, respectfully, off. You cannot tell. You cannot. I don't care. You are not the police. You cannot tell a Jew in 2024 where he can go. Why are you telling me to back off? These are thugs who are telling Jews where they can or can't walk. No, we can't. We could do it in the middle over there. You cannot tell me in the United States in 2024 where. Shut up. You cannot tell me where I can or can't walk. These are terrorist supporters. And they are supporting Hamas. What is worse, me saying the F word or them praising Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis? I'm not the problem. You know I'm not the problem. I'm a law-abiding citizen. These people support terrorists. Why are you punishing me?
Can we get some space, please? Can we just raise your voice?
Okay, I'm not going to raise my voice. Okay, I'm not raising my voice. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're letting them do this? You're letting them do this. Are you?
First of all, can I just apologize to my mom for the potty language? I did not mean to do that, and I certainly did not know I was being recorded, so I apologize in advance.
Yes, we'll take it. I'll take it as well. But Shabbos, you are so courageous. It's unfathomable that this is what our students have to go through on campus. What is your advice to incoming freshmen?
Sure. First, let me just say that I think what makes that video, I mean, I've seen it a couple of times, I obviously experienced it, but to me, what makes it really hard to watch is it's actually not a unique story. That's actually been relatively common for many students, not in Boston, not just at Harvard and MIT, but at UCLA, at Berkeley, at Columbia. It's really been a ubiquitous experience for all too many Jewish students. So that's, to me, what makes it really difficult. The best piece of advice is something that I learned based on my experience speaking at the Republican National Convention, which is we had what's called a walkthrough, where the stage manager told me right before my speech, you know, this is the stage you're going to walk on. That's the teleprompter to look at. This is what your hair and makeup is going to be. And he kept saying, like, do you have any questions? And, you know, you can't really tell, but I don't really care how I'm dressed. I don't really care about the teleprompter. I really didn't have any questions. And after 2 hours of doing this walkthrough, I turn around to leave. And right before I get into the car to drive back to the hotel, I say, you know what, I actually do have one question. Can you promise me when I give this speech in front of the former president, in front of 30,000 people in the arena, in front of millions of Americans watching at home, can you promise me that they could see that, you know, I'm wearing a kippah? That's the only question I asked, because I have 2 friends at Harvard right now who've stopped wearing their kippahs in response to October 7th. I have a list in my phone of hundreds of Jewish students across North America who in response to October 7th have tucked in the Star of David, have taken off the kippah, who've ceased their involvement with Jewish life on campus. And the only thing I cared about, irrespective of the substance of my speech, regardless of the words coming out of my mouth, was that those students at Harvard and across college campuses would see that in the 21st century, young American Jews can and should and must be wearing their Jewish pride as loudly and publicly and confidently as ever before, regardless of your level of religious observance or your educational background or your political ideologies. We are at a pivotal moment, an inflection point really in this country, and in particular in the history of American Jewry. It has never been more important for you as that freshman, that incoming student, wear your Jewish star, be a proud vocal force for change. It is difficult. It's not easy. You know, I'd like to think that should Asaam do well in the elections, that it will become a little easier. We'll be able to fund the passion project when, right, not if. We'll be able to fund the success and the solutions on the ground. But the main thing is, do not allow the Jewish narrative, the story of the Jewish people, to be written by our ideological adversaries.
Okay, Shabbos, we have to wrap up. We could speak for hours because you're just fascinating and inspiring. But let's just wrap up with one last question. Why are you running for the World Zionist Congress, and why specifically have you joined the Aish slate?
Sure. I mean, the reason why I'm running for the World Zionist Congress is, well, first of all, most of your listeners, most people don't know what the World Zionist Congress is, and that's a pretty damning indictment on the effectiveness of the World Zionist Congress. I mean, for example, they have something called the Department for Combating Anti-Semitism and for Promoting Resilience, which is great, but can anyone tell me what they've been doing for the last year? So for for Jewish students who can tell you exactly what it is like on college campus, and more importantly, can tell you exactly how to fix it. If they were the ones who were running the Department for Combating Anti-Semitism and for Promoting Resilience, then we would actually see solutions. We would actually see improvements in a tangible, practical, visible way. The problem is the current makeup of the World Zionist Congress does not actually reflect the makeup of American Jewry. American Jewry, especially those experiencing anti-Semitism day in, day out, are young people. And Aish to me, is a no-brainer because it is the only slate that is passionate about not only amplifying the voices of Jewish students, but putting them in positions of power, making sure that the actual heroes like Eli and Bella and Eden, who were just here and who are running, that they're the ones who can say, we know what the problems are and we know what the solutions are, because unfortunately their voices have not been listened to for quite some time. And we've seen the failures all too often of major organizations. And we have the solutions. We just need your support and your vote to implement those solutions.
Shabbos said it best, aish.com/vote. If you believe that Shabbos needs to have not just the platform, but the resources to affect change, then we need your help. Shabbos, it is an honor and pleasure, and everything about you just inspires great hope for the future. Thank you so much, Shabbos. You're the best.
Thank you both. I appreciate it.
Bye. Have a great night. Thank you, Shabbos.